Matt's a very good revolver shooter. He's a lefty, fast on his feet.
This time on Hot Shots.
I'm worried a little bit about Matt at this point.
He's chiseling at me pretty hard. See what happens on the last one.
I felt the rifle just come up almost into my face.
We push each other really hard, but that's when we get better.
3 of the best shooters on earth. Mic'd up.
You guys got me spooked with those cameras, man.
And behind the scenes. This is total access to shooting's biggest stars. The great ones. The hot shots. Pro shooters typically project confidence and toughness on the range.
Uh-oh.
But uninvited guests can crack that facade in a hurry.
Dude, there's a snake in the building. Hang on. Watch out. Man, I'm terrified of snakes. I was reaching in there to get one of them rifle targets out. Then something moved, and I looked over and it was right beside me. No. No. I don't know what it is. I just caught a glimpse of it. We saw a big copperhead out here a couple months ago. Spooked.
Whatever it is has either taken up residence in the wrong shed or had enough sense to head for the South Carolina hills.
I ain't sticking my hand in there, man. It come falling off that shelf and knocked over one of them paint cans. Dude, I was out. Man, I'm usually looking for bees or something in here. You know, open the door and just kind of take a peek. They never had a snake in here, but I guess I'll add that to the list of things to look for when I open this door. It would have took off by now. Whew, man, it got me freaked out, dude. I don't guess I really needed 7 or 8 shells for that little snake, but I didn't know at the time, and I know if I get excited how I pull the trigger, so I figured might as well take enough to get it done. God, dude, I ain't as tough as I look. I don't like snakes. What can I tell you?
He doesn't need to say anything, but it's all enough to move rifle practice to the bay next door. Rattlesnakes are among the many distractions found in the southern Nevada desert, which this week is the site of USPSA Handgun Nationals. In the revolver division, the race is still very much alive, with the remaining few stages turning into a 2-man shootout between defending champ Jerry Michalak and up-and-comer Matt Griffin, who fell to Jerry in last year's championship by less than half a point.
Matt's a very good revolver shooter. He's got one of the best reloads I've ever seen. He's a lefty. He's fast on his feet.
But it's perhaps the ultimate sign of respect that the Louisiana legend looks at his young challenger as a master tactician. And it's clear Jerry's keeping an eye on Griffin's every move.
He can game a stage as good as I've seen any competitor game any open stage. So when you get him on a revolver stage and he starts to game it, I have to keep an eye on him just in the corner of my eye during the walkthroughs to see if he's picked up something I didn't see. He's a great competitor. He's not going to give you much slack. So I pretty much base my performances on what he's going to do. A lot of times you can pick up a clue here and there. It's free information, so I'm always watching the competitor ahead of me, even the guys behind me. Always keep your eyes open. You'd be surprised what you can learn. Just got to watch the young guys.
As Matt Griffin steps to the line on the second-to-last stage of the match, he trails Jerry by just 45 points. It's a solid run, but not his best. With the pressure of the match intensifying, Griffin is struggling to stay calm.
Can't relax. Long and short is I just cannot relax. I'm just choking that thing, choking it. But the hits weren't bad, so maybe I'm somewhere in between now. I don't know. That's all I got.
Jerry senses the opportunity to build his lead and use his decades worth of experience to avoid the trap his rival appears to be falling into.
If you take the baggage with you, it'll be so much to carry by the time you get to the end of the day, you just cannot carry it. So you got to learn to dump everything and just start over, shoot it like it's a new experience, and go from stage to stage.
Hot Shots, presented by Cheaper Than Dirt, is brought to you by Cheaper Than Dirt, America's ultimate shooting sports discounter. Daniel Defense, lighter, stronger, better. Mossberg and the 930 JM Pro Series, the official shotgun of Jerry Michalek. NRA Sports. And by Colt. Champion 3-gunner Clint Upchurch shoots the Colt CCR Pro. After a disappointing week at Handgun Nationals, Max Michel is back in Louisiana. When he's not competing or training, Max is usually teaching
Boom, 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 boom.
at the Max Michel Training Academy in New Iberia, a 2-hour drive from his home in New Orleans.
I just love doing it. You know, it's a passion of mine. It's not work for me. It's very, very easy because I enjoy it. I live it. It's my life. It's what I've always ever done, you know, since I was a little boy, was to shoot guns and figure out how and why the guns operate the way that they do. All right, you watch that right foot again hit the box.
But sharing his knowledge hasn't always been a passion.
And change magazines.
I can see what you were talking about, Max.
For so many years, I thought it was all about, you know, me winning championships and going to the range and training and trying to figure out how to be the best shooter and the fastest shooter in the world. You know, my time in the Army, before the war kicked off, when I had just endless amounts of ammo and endless amounts of time to train, I was always wrapped around, you know, becoming the world's fastest shooter and becoming the best that I can be. And, you know, that's a very selfish way of looking at things. But when you're 17, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old, that's all I knew. And that led to a certain point to where I found, as I started transitioning, I started getting a little older, that, hey, I can give this information to those who are protecting us, law enforcement, military, you know, people that are protecting the streets that you may live on. I take great pride in training those people and making them better at what they do. You're looking at a specific spot, you want your right foot to go, and pivoting so you can step into position.
It's not just military and law enforcement. Max's programs are designed for shooters of all ages and abilities.
You missed, you're missing left, so increase that support hand pressure.
Today, in fact, it's a private course with a married couple from Houston.
That's how you save the time. That's real seconds being saved.
The Academy is also a place for Max to squeeze in his own training sessions. It's located on property owned by childhood friend and fellow champion shooter Blake Miguez, who's joining Max today for some after-school fun.
Blake and I sometimes can get very competitive, and it's just a whole lot of fun on the range with him. And you know, these are just one of those moments when we get out on the range and we push each other really hard, but that's when we get better, and it's all in good fun. When you want to bet on something?
No, I don't want to bet anything right now.
You don't want to bet yet?
Give me a little bit more training before I bet. Let's go.
With the snake excitement behind him, Colt's Clint Upchurch is ready to get to work.
All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna shoot some pistol on the move across here with the rifle slung. Get to a position up here where we can abandon the pistol. Then we're gonna go into these rifle targets with the rifle and probably just stay in the sling, which means basically we've got the gun on us. It's slung front, behind, somewhere, you know, but you gotta take it with you. It won't be placed somewhere throughout the stage. You got to carry it with you, and you know, again, you got to figure out how to manage it with all the other stuff on your belt and how you can get in and out of it the best.
Practicing such things is what can separate an elite shooter from a wannabe. Stages of fire that require a sling aren't common, but when they arrive, they'll expose those who aren't prepared.
I've seen guys drop their guns out of slings. I've seen them struggle getting them out. I've seen them knock other gear off their belt trying to get out of the, you know, the slung gun, whether it's in front of them or behind them. So it's just another skill that you'll run into that you need to be familiar with and be comfortable with, so that it isn't a surprise and so that it doesn't get you kind of sidetracked from the real deal, which is the shoot.
Clint set up a stage where he'll engage 4 paper targets on the move before taking aim at 5 rifle targets that range from 75 to 250 yards away. His first run confirms he's working on something he needs to.
You're kind of looking for the unexpected. So the first step, when the timer went off and the first step I took, when I raised my leg, you know, I felt the rifle just come up like almost into my face. That's just the stuff right there that you got to be ready for, you know, because I didn't really expect that. The first step out, something's in my way. You know, it kind of took my attention off of shooting for a second just to see what else was going on. So that's perfect. We'll try that again, see if we can clean that up a little bit better.
I like to take things apart. I'll take a paper shredder apart.
Burt Miller has always had a passion for the mechanical side of life.
I was like that when I was 6 years old. My mom stayed on me because they'd get me a new toy. I'd tear it apart and see how it worked and try to put it back together.
Now he gets paid for it. Burt is a quality assurance engineer at Daniel Defense.
On the upper receiver, we actually check about 200 dimensions, about the same on the lower.
He's part of a highly trained team that uses its cutting-edge technology to make sure every Daniel Defense rifle meets ridiculously high standards.
That machine is accurate within about 1/10,000th of an inch.
Daniel Defense's bar is so high that not even mil spec, the highest standard a gunmaker can be held to, is enough.
We even go beyond mil spec and call it mil spec plus, since we hold our products to a higher standard.
Commitment to quality is a big reason Burt Miller knew right away he'd found a job he might never leave.
When I came here, I felt like I found my home, you know. Marty's the type of guy that spares no expense when it comes to having the right equipment, the right tools for the job.
Marty is Marty Daniel, the man whose name is on the building.
That's got a lot to do with why we make such a good product, because if you go to him, Marty, we need this, he's like, okay, we'll get it.
At Daniel Defense, quality might start at the top, but without its Burt Millers carrying it out every day, it would be little more than a nice idea.
Been that way all my life. It's kind of second nature to me.
There's just one major match left on Max Michel's 2012 schedule, the World Speed Shooting Championship, the Steel Challenge in Florida. With his disappointment from Handgun National still fresh, Max will be ready.
It's time for the best of the best to shoot against each other with the same gear, same equipment. There's no hiding in a different division. You can't shoot production while this guy's shooting open, whatever the case is. Everybody's there with scopes, with compensators, and the fastest man's gonna win.
Today, he and Blake Miguez are training for Smoke and Hope, Steel Challenge's fastest stage. With 4 large targets and a stop plate, it's a stage the top shooters turn into a drag race.
I want to be under 2, but let's just call it under 2.1. I want to give myself a 1/10 of a second.
Which makes saving even a split second important.
197.73.
Max knows his advantage will be on the first shot, the time it takes to react to the start signal, draw the gun, and begin firing.
What's your first shot going to be, roughly?
First shot should be into the 70s.
Wow.
Low 70s.
That's pretty fast.
Blake's fairly new to the steel game, so I feel like it's a way that I can kind of help him, you know, and I really want to show him the importance of the first shot.
181. And it was a 71 first shot.
Oh, dude, I'm right on. It's 50% of your overall score once you get to the top of the game, so it's very, very important. Let's go. I want to see you do work.
Okay.
You were right there. There's a 1 flat draw. 239. That was good. 2.15.
I got lucky.
90. He got lucky. 91 first shot. So
Okay,
you're about.
that's a good practice session. Let's go home.
All right.
It's the best I can hope for there.
The best Max Michel can hope for, the only thing he'll accept, is another World Speed Shooting Championship. Steel Challenge is coming, and Max is on track to be the first shooter in history to hoist the cup for a 4th time.
To be the only person to ever win a 4th title in the history of Steel Challenge is something I'm looking forward to and I'm excited about.
Jerry Michalek is 2 solid stages from another championship at USPSA Revolver Nationals. Matt Griffin is Jerry's closest challenger and has just posted a time of 23.84 seconds.
Stand by. If you're finished, unload and show clear. If clear, hammer down and holster. Ranges clear. 2294.
Jerry is disaster-free.
Job.
Survival.
And almost a second faster than Griffin.
You got me a little bit.
A little bit.
He picks up just over 5 points. The greatest wheel gunner who's ever lived is now one stage from victory. But Matt Griffin isn't out of it. Either a career run or a stumble from Jerry could be enough to give him an upset for the ages.
He's chiseling at me pretty hard. Maybe we can see what happens on the last one. It's different running with the ball than running after it, so it's been a fun match, though. Either way, it's going to be fun.
Hot Shots, presented by Cheaper Than Dirt, is brought to you by Cheaper Than Dirt, America's ultimate shooting sports discounter. Daniel Defense, lighter, stronger, better. Mossberg and the 930 JM Pro Series, the official shotgun of Jerry Michalek. NRA Sports. And by Colt. Champion 3-gunner Clint Upchurch shoots the Colt CCR Pro. A week from today, Clint Upchurch will be competing at a 3-gun match in West Virginia, and he stepped outside his comfort zone to get ready. Not only is he working with his rifle slung to his body, but he's getting some valuable feedback on his rifle positioning.
Didn't get a good position with a rifle. The position of my leg, if it's in here good and tight, and I've got enough height where I can get my elbow on my knee and get in here and really get the gun locked down, and I'm stable. But I got my leg kind of farther out, so my leg was lower, and once I come up to get to this target, my elbow was off my knee. And the gun's just, I mean, it's like looking at a windshield wiper, you know, looking through the scope. So anyway, that right there just costs time.
Steady improvement is all Clint was looking for.
I got settled in here a lot better, and I was able to shoot the rifle shots quicker.
And it's what he got. He's ready for his season to roll on, which it will in West Virginia, as one of the world's top 3-gunners goes for his 3rd straight win. After 17 stages of fire, Jerry Michalek and Matt Griffin have arrived at the final showdown of their 3-day battle. Jerry is in the lead and intent on protecting it.
I'm thinking about just being consistent, seeing the sights really hard, following through on the trigger pull, and just go back to basics, do a good reload when you need it, stay visual. I walked it enough to where I could see it in my sleep, and I was ready to finish it off, and either way, have a good performance or shoot the best I could do.
Stand by.
If you're finished, unload, still clear.
It's a safe performance, and it's given Matt Griffin an opening. He'll need the run of his life.
Matt might be able to capitalize on that left-handed advantage here. We'll see what he can do on the rest of it.
Stand by.
He shot a very fast stage. I was standing on the side watching him engage some targets. And I'm thinking, man, he is really hammering these targets.
Griffin is almost 2 seconds faster than Jerry.
I'm worried a little bit about Matt at this point.
But a single shot will cost him.
Alpha Mike.
There it is.
A miss means a 10-point penalty.
Congrats, Jerry.
Not like Matt to do that, but he was trying to win.
And another national revolver championship for Jerry Michalek, who calls it one of the most satisfying victories of his career.
Yeah, this is, by far. One of the things I've been having problems with is going to matches and expecting to win. And that's the best way to lose. So, thinking about my father-in-law, Jim, what he told me years ago. Jim was a soldier. He made a few beach landings. Casualties are astronomical, and I asked him, Jim, how do you prepare yourself for such an onslaught of of death and destruction. He said, well, every second you make is a positive. Just take it a second at a time. You make this minute, you make the next. So I came to this match thinking, well, I got nothing to lose. I can only win. So I just took it a shot at a time, target at a time, reload at a time. Don't worry about the outcome. So fight the battle. If you live at the end, well, you win. If you didn't, well, you gave it your best. So kind of took after what Jim told me. So always talk to the old guys. They know stuff.
Follow Hot Shots TV on Facebook and Twitter for a chance at prizes that go bang. That's how we say thanks for watching.